Hey guys, it's time for part 3 to my summer movie catch-up series. I've seen a lot of movies over the summer, and some have been great, some have been good, and some of them have been really bad. But other than that, it's been a kind of a fun summer. It's not been the best summer in the history of ever, but there have been some really enjoyable movies, some really great movies, but some stinkers as well. I'm repeating myself, so let's just go ahead and get started with my final 4 films of the summer season. The Meg. It's a big shark movie with Jason Statham. Should be fun. It's okay. I would almost put it on the same level as Rampage. Rampage was just a movie, and honestly, that's what this is. It's just a dumb action film with Jason Statham in it, and it has some fun moments from every now and then, but other than that, it's mostly kind of dull and boring. There's nothing really big or groundbreaking here. It's just a dumb action film that honestly I was really bored by and didn't have that much fun in. So, I mean, that's a disappointment right there. I mean, I honestly liked Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom a little bit more. I mean, definitely a worse movie than this, but I was much more entertained by that movie than I was this movie. It's just a loud, dumb action film with some okay acting and okay special effects, but it's really nothing memorable. And honestly, I liked Rampage a lot more, kind of, because at least The Rock is very charismatic. I never get a charismatic vibe from Jason Statham. He's just kind of the same in everything. So really, that's all I've got to say about it. I mean, there's really nothing much to this movie other than big shark people have to kill. The Megalodon is cool, but the movie's just kind of dumb and cool, and it's not memorable at all. I'm gonna give The Meg a 5 out of 10. Next, we have Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation. I've never seen the first two Hotel Transylvania movies. I know there's some people that love them and some people that don't like them at all. But this one, I've heard some mixed opinions on. Some people don't seem to like it at all, and honestly, I had some fun with this movie. It's not amazing or anything, but there were some jokes that I did laugh at. I thought that the animation was gorgeous to look at. I'm a sucker for animation, and the animation is really good here. It's very fast paced, and I kind of like that. The jokes are also very fast paced. Some of them don't work, some of them really do. I did find myself laughing a few times in the movie, but not as much as I would have liked in a movie like this. Although this movie had some fun moments, and it's a good Adam Sandler movie, so I mean, that's something to be proud of. Poor Adam Sandler. I shouldn't be saying poor Adam Sandler because he just makes crap because he can. But this has some heart to it that I don't see in other Adam Sandler movies. And the animation's gorgeous. I think the fast pacedness of it is great. I just overall enjoyed it for what it was, but I'm not really going to remember this by the end of the year, but it's ultimately not a bad film. I'm going to give Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation a 6 out of 10. Now we come to one of the most controversial movies of the summer season and of this year, Hereditary. Critics loved this movie. Audiences seem to absolutely hate this movie, with very few exceptions. And honestly, I don't understand why people hate this movie. I thought this was a really good movie. It's not the best movie ever or anything, but it's a really fun ride with some very tense moments, some horrific moments, and honestly, it has some sprinkles of a little bit of lighthearted comedy to it that I really felt helped break the tension a little bit, because this film can be very dour. I never found this movie boring. It was always interesting to me. The cinematography was something to behold. This was a very smooth looking film. Also, I thought the acting was fantastic. It can be a little hokey at times, but is that really a problem? I mean, is hokey acting supposed to be bad? I think you can have hokey acting and it be perfectly fine. Toni Collette, yeah, her performance is over the top. Everyone's performance is over the top in this movie, and I found that probably it was an intentional decision, and I thought it worked for the type of film it was going for. This film can be over the top, but it can be very serious and very dour at times. I really liked that about the film. I thought this film was very good and it just drew me in. It was never boring. I found a lot of the twist very interesting, and honestly, I kind of liked the ending. I know a lot of people absolutely hate this ending and say it's one of the worst endings of the year, but I liked it a lot. I don't think it fully works. I don't want to go into too many spoilers, but this might be a little spoilery. The ending is very similar to The Witch, but I thought the ending of The Witch worked a lot more and was more connected to the rest of the film, whereas this feels just kind of random. I still enjoyed it, but I can understand why people don't like the ending of the film. But I can't understand for them completely hating the rest of the film. I thought this was a blast. The acting is really good. Toni Collette is fantastic, as well as Alex Wolff. I think he gets discredited in this film by people saying that, like, oh, he doesn't really, like, all he does is whine throughout the movie, or he's just... I think he's fine. I love Alex Wolff, and he's one of my favorite young actors working right now. Also, I might make a bigger video on this sometime, but a lot of people have stated that this movie is pretentious. I hate it when people say the word pretentious. Pretentious, people use it in different ways, saying like, oh, they don't understand this, so it's pretentious. Or they think this is boring, so it's pretentious. Or abstract imagery is pretentious. If there is no substance at all to certain imagery, that is pretentious. That means that there is absolutely nothing there when a director is trying to tell you that something is there. But there is meaning in everything. That's how I feel. Unless you're just some filmmaker that is just trying to be like, oh, let's do this or do that. That's pretentious. This is not. I don't think this movie is pretentious at all. It has meaning to everything. That's how I feel with David Lynch films. David Lynch films are not pretentious. There is a reason to the madness on screen. You can look at the film. Yes, you might have to watch it a few times. That's okay. At least it has rewatch value. You can look at the movie and watch it. You can look at the movie, watch it over and over, and find something different in it every time. And that's cool about film. And that's what I think is cool about this film. I want to watch it again because there are things that I clearly didn't pick up on the first time around. And that's okay for a movie to do that. I'm perfectly fine with a movie being abstract. I just don't like it when people say that films are pretentious or certain films are pretentious when they're obviously not. It's a way of saying that a movie is boring without you just straight up saying it. Also, it's a way of you justifying why you don't like the movie. You cannot like a movie. That's perfectly fine. But when you're saying a movie is pretentious and you're trying to say that it's bad, is it really pretentious? Are you trying to make a reason for you not liking the film? You cannot like a film. It's okay. Sorry I got on that tangent, guys, but there's some things that really bother me when people don't like a movie, and it's okay to not like a film. I found this movie really enjoyable, and there's stuff that I don't like about it. There's stuff that I don't think fully works, but I don't find it pretentious. I'll tell you what pretentious is. Pretentious is when you hold the camera on something for so long to try to get meaning out of it. A meaning that's not there. Like, I could have the camera on a wall for an hour. And is that pretentious? Yes. There's no meaning to it. But when you have symbolism, when you have images on screen that can actually mean something, that's not pretentious. Film is art, everybody. Film is like a painting, and that's perfectly fine. Sorry I got so off topic. I might cut this out, I might not, but I just don't like it when people just kind of say stuff when they might not exactly think it through. Because first reactions are very important. And I thought this movie was perfectly fine. It's not the best film of the year. It's not the best film of the year or anything. But it is still a good film that I enjoyed. I'm gonna give Hereditary an 8 out of 10. Alright guys, after all that, I'm gonna talk about a really emotionally driven movie that I really loved. Won't You Be My Neighbor? The story of Mr. Rogers. This is a documentary that I was really looking forward to, and I was not disappointed. This was just such a treat. I loved this film. This was such a powerful, emotional, and just, it made you feel so good at the end. And there are plenty of moments that are tear-jerking. This man meant everything to so many people, and he's definitely a national treasure. He's one of the greatest people I think that have ever lived. He's just a good person. And I think that's why this works. It's just a documentary about a really good person. And just seeing how many lives he touched and what he did to television is just miraculous. I grew up watching Mr. Rogers, and I always had a blast watching him. I remember an episode of Mr. Rogers where he talked to Bill Bixby from the Incredible Hulk TV show, and I don't know, that that episode sticks in my mind. I can't really remember anything else about it, but I just really liked that episode because I liked Mr. Rogers and I liked the Incredible Hulk TV show. Um, this is a very powerful documentary, one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, and after watching it, I wasn't over with it. I probably spent an hour crying my eyes out because this film just, it gets to you, and there's honestly no flaws I can find with this. This is just a perfect documentary that is about a perfect person, and I think this is a great movie to end my 2018 summer movie list on. This was a really good documentary. And I'm gonna give Won't You Be My Neighbor a 10 out of 10. Well, guys, that ends my summer movie catch-up series for 2018. I hope you enjoyed this. There was very few films left to talk about, but I wanted to talk about a few more before the end of the summer, and I think that we ended on a high note. This summer hasn't been great, but it's had some really good gems, and I'm sorry about the rant that I had at the near the very end with Hereditary. I just, sometimes certain things just really bother me, but, I mean, hopefully if you watch this and you don't agree with me, you can at least respect, or you can completely call me out and say that everything I said was just insane and wrong. I probably am wrong, but that's just how I feel, and yeah. Man, I'm sorry that I'm ending this on such a dour note because I don't know. But yeah, guys, that's the end of this series, so I hope you enjoyed it, and if you watched all 3 episodes, that's really cool. Thank you for watching, and I hope you watch this one and enjoy it too. So, with all that said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review.